sponsored by EW Production Services Limited. And would you welcome first into the red corner, representing the Wado Dragons, Caleb John. And would you welcome his opponent into the blue corner? He's your first fighting tiger of the evening, Ben Mitchell! Three 2-minute rounds of K1 action. John in the red, Mitchell in the blue.
So Dean, here we are at Pantheon 9 Apocalypse, and what a great venue and what a great evening. And to start the evening, K1 rules 3 2-minute rounds. The local fighter, Ben Mitchell, against Caleb John from Wado Dragons, and Wado Dragons very well scored. In that corner there, James Wallace, kickboxing world champion, now sessioning into MMA as well. 2 hugely experienced camps there.
Caleb coming in looking nice and focused here. Equally Ben, young, hungry, training went really well and taking his fight seriously for his debut tonight.
And as we can see, the taller of the two men, and in K1, with such an aggressive style that's needed, if you can use it to your advantage, it's a huge bonus.
If you can dictate the pace of the fight, you can ultimately put your opponent on the end of the shots that you put out, and dictate distance is going to be a key in this matchup.
That's right, we have 3 2-minute rounds. Your referee, Mr. Colin Payne, drawing them to the middle. And I think once they come to the middle, Dean, you'll see the distinct height advantage for Ben.
Ben looking the taller fighter here. Let's see if he utilises that distance in teeps and that lead jab.
That's the important point. We've seen so many times you have the natural gifts, but how you use them is essential. So I feel that really Caleb has to attack Ben and get inside him.
Caleb's going to have to come forward, dodge those upper shots. There we go. Dictate his distance with the kicks. He's doing it nicely. So circle off the ropes like he does beautifully there.
Well, this is the thing. As I said, he has to take the fight to Ben because he can't afford to let Ben get into a rhythm. And as you can see here, he's using that rear leg very well, is Caleb. And for the other side of the coin, for Ben Mitchell, he's got to get in there before Caleb has the time to actually use that rear leg, which is slower.
Caleb's got some brilliant footwork there. Lovely, lovely shots. And he moves out beautifully laterally there.
That's right. I just get the feeling that Ben needs to just be a bit more explosive, don't you, Dean?
Aye, nice. I was just about to say he needs to use that lead teep and then follow up with punches in bunches off that. Nice right hand there by Ben.
Yes, he's doing the right thing. He's walking Caleb down, but every time that Caleb manages to get that rear leg off, it's something that Ben needs to stop. And he's doing better now. As you said, he's coming in quicker and he's closing the gap.
Nice side kick there from Caleb. Really impressed with his footwork thus far.
Well, this is the thing, Dean, with James Wallace, they've done everything. They've gone right through from points contact to light contact to full contact kickboxing, K1, and now even MMA. Very well schooled in all disciplines.
I love how Caleb's able to stand there, trade, and then move off beautifully. Gets caught there.
But that's the thing with K1. The one thing that Caleb's doing at the moment that Ben's not is when he chooses to come in, it's very explosive and he really closes the gap quickly. Now, really, as you see there, Ben shouldn't allow him to do this.
Ben needs to fire off more punches and kicks off single. He can't just sit here on the outside and fire off singular shots. He really needs to double these punches up and kicks.
That's right, Dean. Good call there, because as I said, he's got the natural advantages, but the moment, as you saw there, that it was actually the left of Caleb that landed cleanly. Ben has got to stop him coming in like this.
Nice round there. Caleb dictating the pace, coming forward and evading Ben's strikes. Ben needs to up his percentage of strikes, punches in bunches, and put punches particularly on the end of those kicks.
I agree with you totally, and on our unofficial scorecard, we definitely have the red corner 1 round up. So as we start round 2, Dean, let's see, to me the key to this one is distancing, and let's see if Ben can change the distance at which this is fought.
It's interesting to hear Ben's corner there, telling him to turn up the volume, meaning turn up the volume of strikes he is throwing, because at the moment Caleb's able to evade beautifully, as we saw just there, and come back in with his own shots. Ben really needs to start trying to dictate the pace of this fight.
You're right, and as you mentioned in the first round, at the moment it's the movement of Caleb that is dominating this fight. And as his corner rightly said, this is K1, and we know how highly aggression scores. So when they say up it there, they mean the sheer volume, because this will impress the judges. But at the moment, he is allowing the shorter man to dictate the distance and the pace of this fight.
Ben stand on the outside again, nice double jab there. I'd like to see him follow up with a low leg kick to try and take the spring out of Caleb's legs so he can't evade as easily.
You're right. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with him keeping it long. That's the natural gifts he's got. But even there, he's still got to work, as you said.
He needs the spring in that foot. If Ben can start chopping away at this lead. Oh my goodness, here Caleb's coming through these punches.
It was set up with a cheap, Dean. The cheap came in first, then the punches, and he actually rocked Ben. And this is the whole problem. You've seen perfectly there the problem for the fighter in the blue corner. It's the speed and pace at which Caleb closes the gap and then works.
Caleb's able to dictate the distance and also win on the inside. Thus far, he's controlling completely this fight. Ben really needs to turn it up.
Now again, you saw a problem for him there. Taller, leaner man, and yet he relies on the rear leg. He should be chopping with his lead leg, as you said, at that lead leg of Caleb, especially knowing how mobile this young man is.
Nice teep there by Ben. Eats an inside leg kick himself. He really needs to start chopping away. Nice switch kick there. But it's just not enough. You can't keep going with these singular shots, Malcolm.
No, you're right, Dean. I think the corner will address this for the third and final round, because, again, look at this. He cannot allow Caleb to be there. But let's be honest, it's his debut. It's a learning curve. We don't want to seem too harsh on him. But like yourself, I see him 2 rounds down now, and for me, it purely is distancing and pacing issues.
Almost certainly, Ben Mitchell needs to chop away at that lead leg. He needs to try and finish this fight decisively. As we said, we have Caleb up on 2 rounds. Let's see what he brings in the next round.
So third and final round, and it's a simple equation for Ben Mitchell. He needs at least a count to hope for a draw or a stoppage to win this. And I must say, Dean, he has come out with far more purpose here in the third.
He's come out with some fire in that body of his. He's stalking Caleb down, cutting him off beautifully. He needs to really turn up the volume of the strikes. Seems to have come alive in this last round, Malcolm.
One thing I like about Caleb, though, is even when he's under pressure, he still keeps firing. He's still telling just like this. He steps into his man and comes forward again. And I must stress again, this is Ben Mitchell's debut. He will learn so much from this, and Caleb is fighting the right fight against a taller opponent.
Nice knee on the inside there. Beautiful stuff by Ben. Listening to his corner again, they call for that knee breakaway and fire shots as he breaks away.
Still slightly tentative with that jab. He really needs to bring that in, double it up, that lead leg to chop at the inside of the lead leg of Caleb John. But this will come as his career develops. It's become more instinctive to him.
It's only going to make him stronger, a better fighter in the end. Oi, nice right hand there by Ben.
Well, this is what we're seeing his capability is. We knew he would be capable of this, and it's coming to fruition in the third and final round, that right hand and that right knee. And when he watches this back, this will build for his second and third fights.
Again, Ben throwing singular shots there. I'd like to see him, a nice check by Ben. I'd like to see him throw something off that, perhaps a switch kick, or even that lovely right hand that we've seen thus far.
Well, that's right, Dean. But as I said, this is something that will come with time and with learning inside the ring. It's the only place you really learn. You can do all the sparring you want. It's when you're actually in here like this now with someone you don't know. And it's a tough debut for him, because Caleb I've been very impressed with, as I know you have.
It could be also a psychological factor, Malcolm. He's come out here in his hometown. His supporters here, he's from the hometown fighter. It can play a part on the mind games, the mind tricks, if you call it, coming into a fight.
I'm glad you said that, Dean, because when I was coaching, I always tried to get my fighter's debut away from home.
That's a good point, Malcolm. Excellent thing to do. You really have to be aware of not just the physical, the psychological aspects of the game. Ben Mitchell seems to have come up short in this fight thus far. Caleb doing a beautiful job of dictating the pace, some lovely footwork there. Let's see what the judges have in store.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I make the official announcement here, I think you'll agree, what a wonderful way to start the evening with these two young men. Superb K1 action. But we do have a unanimous decision. Our judges in favour of the red corner, Caleb John.